Guys, it's the coach, and I'm back, and I'm going to talk about the college football playoffs. Not a typical video, which you've probably seen. We're talking about the bracket, we're talking about the new format and all that good stuff. But yes, we all know the playoffs is expanding to 12 teams this year. We also know that the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC are going to dominate most of the playoff spots. But finally, college football did it right, and we have a guaranteed spot to a non-power program. That's right. There's going to be someone who wins their conference championship, gets into the postseason for arguably possibly the first time ever. Yeah, no, they will get in for the first time ever, and they're going to get an opportunity to compete with the big boys. It's going to be like March Madness, so it is awesome to see. So this video, I'm going to break down who I believe have the best chance to make the college football playoff as the 12 seed. So the non-power 5 programs, who has the best chance? Let's get into it. Starting at number 9, we have the University of South Florida. Byrum Brown returns after an electric year. This guy is one of the most fun QB prospects out there that's not one of the power programs. The defense was not that great and held the team back a lot last year. They gave up points after points. I think we will see improvement, and if the defense can be average, then maybe South Florida can be a dark horse winner of the American. My only problem is I think the schedule and the defense are just not quite there yet to win the conference, but I like him as a dark horse, so that's why they come in at number 9. All right, coming in at number 8, we have Air Force. The Falcons had a great season last year, but they lost a lot of production from last year's team, so I think they're going to take a step back. Now, they do have Zach Larrier, who's going to come back at QB, so that helps. The only good thing is their schedule and the way they run their offense is going to give them a shot in a lot of games. They do have a couple tough games. You have Baylor, Wyoming on the road, and then Oregon State at home are their big 3. So every game on their schedule is winnable. I don't think there's a team that they have no chance against, but this is also a team that could easily have 5-6 losses at the end of the year as well. So I don't really know where they end up, but they do have a shot at the Mountain West, which gives them a chance to make the playoffs. So Air Force comes in at number 8. Number 7, I have James Madison. Now, the first big question is how good of a coach is Bob Chesney, and can he keep the good momentum of the last decade going? They lost a lot to the transfer portal because of coaching changes, but they also added some interesting pieces. You have Dylan Morris, a transfer from Washington, who actually started a bit in 2021 and was decent at best before he became the backup behind Penix. So he could, take the step down to the Sun Belt and be a great addition. They also got a fun 1,000-yard rusher from North Texas, Io Adei. I probably mispronounced that. I'm sorry if I did, but the dude's a monster. The dude's a beast. Watch his highlights at North Texas. You will be intrigued. I could talk about many more of the transfers as well, but the reality is this: if they can't mesh together under the new coaching staff, it's going to be an interesting year. I do like their schedule because I think they have their tough for games at the back end in conference play, so I think they can figure it out and still be successful. But at North Carolina is going to be interesting. You are at App State, who I think is their biggest rival, and then you do have Coastal Carolina at home. I don't know if this is the year because of the coaching change, but they're still a great team. That's why James Madison comes in at number 7. Number 6, we have James Madison's biggest rival in conference, in my opinion, and that is App State. You got Joey Aguilar is back, and he is one of my favorite QBs in the entire country. The dude can sling the ball. Kanye Roberts will be the main back this year, it looks like, after being RB2 last year, and then you have Christian Horn, who looks to be wide receiver 1. Both had good years last year and should be able to keep the offense cooking. In the transfer portal, they did add some help on the offensive line, which they need. Talent-wise, this would easily be one of my favorites to make the playoffs, but their schedule is going to be difficult. I see them losing multiple games, which will hurt them and make it almost impossible for them to make the playoffs. You got at Clemson, you have Liberty, you're at Coastal Carolina, and then you have James Madison. There's a lot of tough games, but I still like them. I still give them a really good chance to win the Sun Belt, but that non-con schedule might come back to hurt them and keep them out, even if they do win the conference. Before I get to the last 5 teams, I just want to say thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you all for all the support, likes. We appreciate it, man. Our goal is to get to 500. We're still on the road to 500. So please, if you haven't, please subscribe if you like the content we're creating. I know it's been down the last couple weeks, but crazy things have been happening, and we promise to keep putting out content. We promise to get better at putting out more content. So thank you guys, and back to the video. UTSA. Owen McCown looks to take over at QB. Now, the team lost a lot of leadership and talent from last year's team, but I trust Jeff Taylor to lead the team to wins. And who knows? They have the talent on the roster, but they just don't have the experience when it comes to game time. So they could figure it out and be very successful this year. They also have Denver Harris at the school, the former 5-star who's been at A&M and LSU, transferred the last 2 years from both those schools. So I don't know what is he going to be, but the dude is uber talented. He's one of the best corners in the nation. So if he could, stay on the field and stay happy, he could be a monster for UTSA. I trust Jeff Taylor. I trust this team. The schedule's kind of tough. They're going to have to catch some lucky breaks if they're going to win the American, but watch out for them. Number 4, my favorite out of the Mountain West is Boise State. Boise is the most interesting team in the Mountain West. Former 5-star transfer Malachi Nelson going from USC to Boise State. If he can play up to his high school hype, they could really become a team to be reckoned with. They also have Ashton Jeanty, who was a great running back last year, one of the best running backs that people probably don't know of. I hope you know about him if you know college football, but the dude is electric. The thing that really hurts Boise State is the fall of the Pac-12 means they're going to now play Oregon State and Washington State on their schedule, which just gives them 2 more tough games, which I think one of those is going to be a loss. And then you throw in Oregon's a guaranteed loss. They're going to have a really tough time being the top-ranked conference champ if they win the Mountain West just because of the schedule. But if they do beat Washington State, they do beat Oregon State, they find a way to beat those teams, they would almost be a lock to win, especially if you get a good game. At Oregon from them. Now, number 3 is Liberty, and I don't think they're the 3rd most talented team on this list. I just think the Conference USA is so terrible, and Liberty is a good program, and they're going to capitalize on their terrible Conference USA conference, and they're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to put up a really good shot because I don't think the schedule is all that tough. The only trouble I can see is they have 2 tough road games this year. One at App State, which is going to be a good one. Another at New Mexico State. Honestly, New Mexico State might not even be a problem since they lost a lot of talent from last year. The biggest obstacle they will have to overcome is that defeat to Oregon last year really hurt their reputation on the grand scheme of things, and probably from the playoff committee. So where they get ranked and how they run that, I think they are going to win Conference USA, but are they going to be the best of the rest? And I don't know, so I'm going to put them at 3rd for now. Number 2, we have Tulane. Now the big question is going to be, can new coach John Sumrall keep the good vibes going? You have key players like Ty Thompson transferring in from Oregon, and he had some good and some bad at Oregon, so I'm interested to see what he can do. You have Mario Williams from USC, Shaz Preston from Alabama, so there's a lot of talent coming to Tulane. The question is, how good will they be with the coaching change and movement from last year? I'm interested to see. They do have a very tough schedule at Oklahoma, at Kansas State, and Memphis, but I could easily see them winning the American. They could run the table in the American. And you have Oklahoma, Kansas State. Maybe they upset one of them. I don't know. I thought they gave Ole Miss all they could handle until their quarterback got hurt. So watch out for Tulane. And then finally, number 1, I have Memphis. I just like Memphis, man. You have Seth Hennigan. He's returning at QB after a great year. You have transfer Mario Anderson, looks to be a great lead back who transferred from South Carolina. You also have Rock Taylor, who will be back as a top target. I think this team is a favorite in the American, but they also have a little tough schedule. They have 3 tough road games this year. You throw in at Florida State, at UTSA, and at Tulane. So 3 really, really big games are all on the road. But I can see them winning at UTSA. I can see them winning at Tulane. I can see them winning the American. Maybe they drop 2 games and end up winning the conference. I don't know if that's enough to make the playoffs, but they're still a really good team. They went last year and played Missouri. They gave Missouri a good test. They lost to Tulane last year, and they lost to SMU, who ended up winning the conference. So they're a good team. They play a very high level, and they got a lot of returners, so that's why they are my team to watch out for to be the 12th seed. Also, watch out Florida State. They might upset you. They could. They have the talent. I don't think they will, but they could. So watch out for that. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me, disagree with me with my list of teams that I think can be the 12th seed? Did I leave anyone off the list? Did I have someone